Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Bailey Rayner, and this is Inside the Coded Economy. This is where we spotlight the real stories behind small businesses that make up the heart and color of our local economy. Today, I am thrilled to sit down with Marcus Barber of Summit Painting Solutions. If you've ever wondered what it takes to run a painting business from the ground up, you're in the right place. We're taking family roots, hard-won lessons, and the ups and downs of entrepreneurship and the drive it takes to keep building. Whether you are curious about the home services world or just love hearing how small business owners get it done, stick around. This is one story you don't want to miss. Today, again, I've got Marcus here. He has been in this industry for 23 years. So I want to go over some of the things that we're going to cover today, and then I'll let you introduce yourself, Marcus. Obviously, we're going to talk about your background, like how you got involved. You were telling me a little bit about it a minute ago. Your journey, the motivations behind what you do, some of the challenges and growth that you've had, because a lot of people obviously is in business. We deal with a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
And then,
more challenges than anything.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was saying how I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning because my brain decided to worry about everything. And then, life behind the business. A lot of people they get so stuck in like the business day-to-day weeds that they kind of forget that they have a life outside of business.
Right.
So that balance. And then I want to flip the script a little bit and allow you to ask me some questions. I mean, I love interviewing, but a lot of times, people want to know kind of what I've done, how I've gotten here, and a little bit on my background. If you have any questions, cool. If not, that's cool too. But that's what we're going to go over today. Okay. So just give me a little bit on your background. How long have you been in the painting industry?
So this coming April will be the start of my 23rd year. I went into this as soon as I turned 18. I started with my best friend's dad was running a crew doing just small residential new construction. I stayed in it and have been all over the country for 20 years working for different places and people. And then 3.5 years ago, I made the move and started my own business.
So you've been working for somebody else for about 20 years?
Yeah, I did. I spent,
oh my goodness.
I worked for several companies. Half of that time was spent with one company back home in Tennessee, where I'm from. It was a commercial painting company. And we just, did general new construction, commercial, and some repaint, but mostly new construction, stuff like hospitals, doctors' offices, schools, churches, just an array of stuff,
That's quite a bit.
I've been fortunate enough to work in multiple brackets of the painting industry, from residential, spec houses, multi-million-dollar homes, repaints, industrial, commercial, you name it. I've done a little bit of all of it. 23 years is a long time to be. Gives you plenty of time to do new things.
Did you do residential and commercial?
Yes, both. Yeah.
Both.
There's so many different subcategories of each one of those, commercial and residential, and I've, dipped in a little bit of all of them. Everything from floor coatings up to high-end residential, multi-million-dollar properties, multi-family properties. Done it all.
What do you like the best?
High-end residential.
High-end residential. Okay.
It's a close race. I like the speed of commercial work. It's go, everything. Like once you have your system down, you're just turn loose and go. But I really like the intricacies and the detail of high-end residential work, which is kind of what my company is specializes in. And as we grow, we're picking up more and more high-end contractors and things like that.
With the high-end residential, I feel like you get to take a step back and really look at something. It's more, I don't want to say like artistic, but it's definitely like,
yes,
this looks really nice, versus a lot of the commercials.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that wall's painted.
Right. No, you're exactly right. Commercial is kind of like, if it'll pass on the walkthrough, you're probably going to be good. But in residential,
as long as you're 6 feet back and don't get too
you're
close.
Always dealing with people that hire you for high-end work generally have a much more discerning eye for details, and they know what they want. and you just got to be able to deliver that.
Yeah, I get it. I agree. I am the worst. So I grew up, my mom was definitely like a handyman. I was not allowed to use tape. We didn't use tape. I don't know why. I think she just didn't want to buy the tape. Like she didn't want to spend money on it. So I was like a 10-year-old. I'm learning how to like cut in the edges and do trim work and make it look just nice. And so I still do that. But I get so busy and overwhelmed, and then like half my trim is like missing, the color on it, or I get super tired and lazy, and now my edges, So, I mean, I agree. Like it looks nice when I actually care and do a good job.
The tape or no tape is an ongoing battle in the paint industry. You have both those groups. I'm from the no tape industry.
I'm a no tape person either. Unless you really suck at it, then you should use some tape.
Yeah, no, you should. That's just too costly to tape everything, and the time and the material that it takes to do it. Like the whole point of a painter is to learn how to do it without that. In my opinion, that's how I feel about it. What I tell my guys.
No, I'm the same way. Like I feel like a lot of times it just doesn't look as nice, and then it takes way too long. I mean, I feel like that's why a lot of the guys will do it. Like some of the guys that we hire out for projects, it's like they spend an entire day taping. It's like, really?
Yeah.
When this was like, come on. So
4 hours to get a 2-hour paint job ready.
Exactly. Or they're like struggling. Oh my God. There was one time we were watching them because we had to spray the ceilings. And we're watching them try to hold up plastic and tape. We're like, what are you doing? Like, and so we got like that cool little roller, that you can just like, just go right across and put up the plastic. Like, I remember just seeing like this long line of tape, like dangling, and like the guy up there, like trying to hold the plastic. Like, this is bad. Like, oh, I know you're learning, but oh my gosh.
Always a better way to do stuff.
So you mentioned that you've started your own business. It's been 3 years now that you've started it. How did you get started? Did you like self-fund it yourself? Did you have to go the loan route, or?
I kept saying, so like I worked for a company. I did fine. I made a good paycheck every week. The guy had plenty of work, and I just started taking on side projects little by little. And, when I had the idea that I wanted, which, I've always thought that I would be able to run my own business anyway. And so I kept saying, well, when I get a certain amount of money in the bank, then I'll be able to quit and go out on my own. Well, I just never hit that amount. And then I noticed that I started looking at the fact that I was having to turn side work down, and I was losing money basically because my 40-hour-a-week job took up too much time and I couldn't get to all the side work. So I had 3 or 4 good jobs scheduled up, and I just quit and jumped out there. I mean, I had a little bit of money in the bank. I had my tools in my truck, which basically just a toolbox with hand tools like drills and stuff, and then my paint stuff and a couple ladders, and hired my niece who had no experience and trained her, and now she's like the star of my company.
That's good.
Just jumped out there, and we've been fortunate. We've had a couple of small slow spells where we were working 2 or 3 days a week for about 2 months last year in 2024 around February. Yeah. But otherwise, we usually have more work than we can do. Like I'm bad about overcommitting us because I'm a people pleaser, and I don't like to tell people no. And
you just say yes.
When good customers call you, I feel like sometimes you just can't. But if you can make it work, then you should.
Yeah.
If it's at all possible. So that's kind of that's my attitude towards it, and it keeps us working 6 days a week, sometimes 7. So
that's good. How was that for you to just say, I'm just going to do this? I don't have all the money that I wanted. I don't how was that?
Scary as hell. I mean, scary. Like for the whole first year, it took about a year before I began to relax just a little bit and say, because like during that first year, we would have work and I would have something scheduled up for us for 2, 3, 4 weeks. however long, and then it would stay like that for a couple months, and then we would get to the end of finishing up something, and there wouldn't be anything scheduled yet, and I would just be like, oh God, how's this going to work? And then I'd be spending money on leads, wasting money on leads a lot of the times. But it would always work itself out, because I'm a hustler. I go out and find work if I don't have it. I don't believe in sitting here waiting for it to come to me. But after about a year, I realized that I could probably always find something for us to do, even if it wasn't what I really wanted to do, but it would keep us going. And now we just wrapped up our biggest single ticket project to date. Really nice multi-million-dollar house.
Good job.
And so things are, we're doing good.
There's a lot of people out there that are looking to start a business. I know I gave you a little bit of my background, and one thing, I've started a couple businesses and they didn't work out for one reason or another. That's a whole different therapy session.
It's hard. It is hard.
But I mean, you just did it. So for somebody that's looking to start a business, whether it's in painting or construction or just a business anyways, what do you think kept you going? I mean, you basically said I had no money, I had to hustle. So for you, was it basically, this is no turning back, I don't have any other option?
Yeah. I'm just kind of geared like that. I have to do well no matter what I do, and I think that's why I'm so good at my job as a painter, because I can't handle just being subpar at something. I have to figure out a way to do it and do it well. So I just, don't want to fail. I refuse to give up and say, oh, well, this is not going to work out. I can't do this. And that's just my attitude.
Did you ever hit any moments? I know it's only been 3 years, but did you ever hit a moment where you're
bunch of
I just should go work for somebody else, I'm going to throw in the towel?
Yeah, it happens. Actually, it's pretty frequent. There's been a bunch of times where I've been sitting in my office by myself at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday, looking at my computer man, what are we going to do? How am I going to figure this out? Am I going to find a job? Can I pay my paint store bill? Am I going to be able to pay my guys on time? I mean, and the list goes on and on and on. So yeah, it's stressful. It really is. It's hard. It's stressful. I have no business background. I just am a blue collar labor guy that decided to start a business, and I do okay, but I've got a lot of room for improvement myself. I'm always growing with the business at the same time.
What part of the business do you find is the hardest for you?
Probably the admin stuff. Yeah. If I have jobs, I can go and take 4 guys and myself and manage 3 jobs and get them done. It'll be a nightmare. I'll be ready to pull my hair out, but I can do that. But when it comes to sitting down at the desk and going through the numbers, dealing with all the paperwork, keeping all the receipts organized, that's the stuff that I don't really have any interest in doing. And I'll keep pushing so that I can afford to hire somebody to do that part of it for me. That's the whole goal, is to build this thing and scale it to where I can get a good team in place and it'll take care of itself, There
you go. Yeah, I mean, I know there's a lot of part-time bookkeepers and that you can hire out and only use them for a couple hours a month. I know with our franchisees, I don't know your budget, right? But I know with ours, we recommend some firms that they work with, and they can be anywhere from $400 a month to $2,000 a month. Yeah. And I do find that is majority of pros will say it's the admin side of it that just you've got 6 different logins and all sorts of things you have to look at.
And it's crazy. I've got about 15 hats that I wear, and I would love to throw the admin one away.
Yeah. Oh God.
The accounting and the bookkeeping and all that. That's something I'm getting ready to. I've been talking to a couple And after the year rolls around and the holidays are done, that's one of the major goals that I have for next year is to get somebody to keep the books and handle the payroll, as well as getting somebody to handle just the day-to-day office work. Not necessarily answering the phone, because I don't like my business don't run on phone calls every day. Like I deal with contractors more than anything. And I mean, I do get calls, but I don't need somebody just to answer phone calls and stuff. I just want somebody that can, help get some operating procedures, some standard SOPs in place, and just do the same thing every time, every day. Because I don't feel like I will ever go past where I'm at if I don't start getting those systems in place and start really digging into it. I mean, we grew every year. That's a good perspective.
Yeah. And that you realize that. I don't think a lot of folks realize to take it to the next level, I got to do some changes. I got to get a little uncomfortable. And a lot of times it's hiring the next person.
Yeah, for sure. That's one thing. That's probably, other than the admin, that's been my biggest struggle, is finding quality talent, like people that actually care about showing up and doing a good job for reasons other than a paycheck. Like obviously everybody wants to get paid, but some people have pride in the things they do regardless of what the money's about or anything. And it's hard to find those guys. And where I'm at anyway, in Dallas, there's just so many people looking for work that it's easy to get guys that know how to talk and know the lingo. But once they get on the job, like it all, you see right through it. So.
Yeah, we say the same thing where it's easy to find painters, find workers, right? But to find good ones, you got to go through a lot.
You got to hire a lot of guys to get. I mean, if I had, like my niece, when she started me, she had no experience at all, other than maybe helping her cousin paint a bedroom. And I mean, she's a superstar now. She's out here spraying cabinets for me. And she, never misses work, never calls in, never complains, always gets stuff done, almost never has a day where I lose money on her. And if I could just find more of her, I wish I could get about 4 or 5 more of her, and I would be in business. But unfortunately, they're just not out there like that. You have to go through a bunch of them to find those good guys like that.
Yeah, we've done that where the people that we started out with aren't the people that continue with us. And you find some folks that they do a really great job for you, but they can only fathom so much revenue, so much opportunity. And after that, it's like mind blowing, and they can't get to that next level where, we've got a franchise, right? And so we've got to hit tens of millions of dollars in revenue. And for our team to be able to grasp that is like, they've got to be able to grasp it. And some people, they can't.
Definitely need people who can see the same vision you see, like that. And that's why I tell people when I hire them, like, listen, man, like we're growing and we're doing well, but I'm looking for people that can see down the road what I'm trying to do and understand that if I can find the right people in the beginning, those people will be the ones that are really taken care of later on when we hit those goals. But man, it's tough, man. People don't have the same drive. Not everybody has the same drive and ambitions and wants to be successful and wants to do a good job no matter what, and has integrity to do the right thing even when nobody's looking and that type of stuff. So it's just a struggle, but it's just one you got to deal with if you're going to do what we're doing.
I agree. I think, you mentioned your niece where she didn't really know anything about painting, but it just sounds like she was a hard worker, good person. And so you plugged her into the position and she took the position. So one thing that we've done, and maybe you do this as well, it sounds kind of like it, is we don't necessarily hire for the position. We put the person in the position.
I say that all the time. I'm not just looking for a good painter. I'm looking for good people. Because, I mean, even if you don't, I mean, obviously I need skilled guys, but I'm also willing to train people too. But at the end of the day, if you're a good person with a good attitude, then we can figure it out. Like, cause I have no problems teaching people how to do this. I got a guy now that I just hired a couple weeks ago that we're training, because I've just about realized that that's the only way to build a A1 team, because the guys that are out there in the workforce that are really good, chances are they're taken. Like, they're probably working for somebody who's treating them really good and keeping them taken care of. And not saying it's impossible to find those guys, but I think you stand a better chance of building those A-team players if you get them and teach them. Obviously, once you teach them your ways, that's the way they know how to do it. Instead, you're not trying to take somebody who's got 20 years of experience and reteach them to do it your way, and because, you know, at the end of the day, everything's got to be done the same way every time, over and over by everybody, or you're not going to be able to grow. That's just that's the hard truth. Like, if you got two different crews doing things two different ways, then it's not going to work as well as it will if everybody's on the same page doing the same thing.
No, you're right. And putting together those systems and those processes, like you said, they're critical, and they're critical to come back to every couple months, you know, not just once a year, but more than twice a year too, sometimes, just to take a step back, look at the process. I know you haven't been in the FM Flow family for very long, and there's a lot of other software out there that you haven't been exposed to, because FM Flow is specifically built for people like yourself, that it's meant to grow with your business. And so a lot of the other software tools that are out there, they're just estimation tools, or they're just invoicing tools, or it's just like one thing here and there. Whereas what we did was we looked at it, just like you said, where are we spending the most time just kind of like wasting time, and how can we automate that and build it into something? And so in the coming months, you know, I'd be very curious, you know, on your input on the parts of the software that are going to be released that you don't see yet. Talk about like your bookkeeper, right? And so right now in our system, when in different versions, you have your invoices that get paid, you know, get sent to the customer and they go ahead and pay it. So we automate all of that, and then it dumps right into your QuickBooks or whatever accounting software you have. And then you just see it. Then you're not having to like manually go in and put everything in yourself, and you're not having to send out the emails, and you're not having to follow up with the customers, because that was one of the areas that we found was the hardest part, was getting the invoice to the customer and collecting the payment. So how can we fix that? It allows for the same steps over and over and over again to happen, just like you said, like do this, and then you do this, and then you do this. Like, it is a built-in process. I love hearing that. I like hearing your goals and, you know, what you're striving to do, and you're building your business, and you've come a long way in 20 years. So that's pretty impressive. And I love hearing that. Was there a reason? I know that you said you started painting when you were 18. Was there a reason why home services or painting specifically, or was it just like my buddy's dad has business? And
I mean, honestly, I was not really built for school. Like, I struggled. I just didn't care about being there, to be honest with you. Like, and I did not see myself going to college. I was raised by a single mother who was disabled, so she couldn't work. And really, just out of necessity, I needed a job that, you know, would be steady. And it just so happened that my best friend's dad was a foreman on a paint crew. And I tried to go to work with them when I was 17, but they wouldn't hire me because I just wasn't of legal age. So literally the week I turned 18, I went to work with them to go to work. And I remember telling my first foreman, his name was Jack, man, and he was something else. But I remember telling him, "Oh, Jack, this is only temporary, man. This is just for the summer until I do something else." And he would always tell me, after a few months of doing it, he's like, you're pretty good at this already. He's like, I think you're taking to it. He's like, I don't foresee you not doing this. And lo and behold, he was right. Here I am 20 something years later, still slinging a brush, and I'm still out here every day with my guys working most of the time. I'm trying to get away from that, but I don't think I'll ever get away from it completely because I enjoy doing it. Like, it's not just a job to me. Like, I really take it serious. And I know a lot of people say it's just painting, but I mean, I love taking something either that's new or old, either one, and just the transformation you can make on something, especially when you know how to do it and you're good at it. It's just pretty amazing to me. And I love seeing people's face light up when you finish their kitchen cabinets and you unwrap them and they see them for the first time, or, whatever it is. Or when you go back 2 years later to give somebody a complimentary wash on an exterior paint job, and they're like, "It's so amazing, and this looks brand new, like you just finished it." Like, I love that. Yeah. That's what I go for. I'm a people pleaser all the way, probably to my detriment sometimes. But as far as being a painter, I love that. Like, that's what it is for me. I just like to take care of people and make people happy. Kind of the one that takes care of everybody in my circle, as far as my family goes and my wife's people and all that. Like, I'm kind of like to take care of people, make people happy.
Well, you grew up pretty quick. It sounds like, with your background with your mom, and so that's very admirable of you, and that's awesome. Thanks for sharing. I mean, when you need, it makes a little bit of sense now where you're like, there's no turning back. I have to do this. And it sounds like when you turned 18, that was also the case. Like, I have to do this. I got to figure it out and make it work. I did not like school either. I was the person that worked extra, like took extra classes to get done with it sooner.
Right.
Yeah. And just got through it, started working. When did I start working? I started working at 15 because I just wanted
you had to
work and get out there, and I didn't like school.
Yeah,
and
I spent summers with contractors that my mother knew, whether it was AC guys or siding guys, like from a very young age. I just always worked. Just had the painting just happened to be there, but it could have easily been HVAC or electrical.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever it would have been, that's probably what I would have been doing now. So.
Well, I think a lot of guys in the service industry are like you, where it's like, I don't like school. I'm not a school person. I'm not going to go sit and work in an office. And you got to be busy and you work with your hands. Oh, which I totally fine. Like, we need people like that. I have 3 boys. I have sons.
Absolutely.
And they're not school kids either. And I just tell them, just hurry up, get done with it, get out,
you don't
and
have to do college.
Go work. Yeah. I did college for a year.
I think the social side of high school is probably, in my opinion, more important than the academic side of it. Like, learning how to be around people and problem solve with your peers and those types of things. I think that's more important than, because I'm not even going to go into what I think about of the American academic system. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, I think
that's a different story. Yeah, different day, different podcast.
Right. We have to find a different podcast for that. Yeah. Go on Joe Rogan or something.
Oh yeah. That could be fun. I mean, with that, it's kind of interesting. We're like, okay, I didn't like school. I went into the service industry. You like to work with your hands, but now you're a business owner. So now you are doing a lot of that sitting behind the desk, management things. And so that it's kind of funny how that works out. But did you always want to be a business owner, or did it just kind of hit a moment?
Yeah. I mean, I've always kind of excelled in this business as far as not just the painting aspect of it, but dealing with the customers. Like I've always just kind of had a knack for building a good relationship with homeowners when I would be a lead on jobs or superintendents on commercial jobs. So I always knew I wanted to do it and I had the ability to do it. It just, the timing was never right. When I lived in Tennessee, where I'm from, the work there is not, it's a lot different. The pay is not the same. There's just not as much work and opportunity, and whatever business is around is probably sewn up by somebody. Not saying it's impossible, but it's nothing like here. But here it just kind of, there's just so much opportunity here in Dallas where I'm at. But I always knew that I wanted to own my own business and be my own boss. I always knew that.
Just had to figure out when and how.
Let's just say I spent a good deal of those first 20 years wasting time and doing things I shouldn't have been doing. But I made some changes in my life. Well, my 20s, 30s, teens, like I was not and I just had to make some serious changes in my life, and I did that. And then a few years after I did that, I found the opportunity to start this business, and I just took it and I ran with it. And there's so much room for me to grow. Like, I'm not even gonna sit here and try to act like I have this great entrepreneurial business, because I don't. I'm successful in the fact that I'm always working, I'm always making a little bit of money, but there's so many spaces within it that I can do better. That I'm like, this year coming up is, I've got a lot of goals to get, and two, it took a long time for me to get out of the mindset of a painter into a business owner. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, going on a job and being so over the top picky about my work. Like, I get it. I want it to be a good job, but I also have to look at it from a numbers point and say, well, sorry, but we can't spend 10 hours on this when we can do it in 6 and it still be good and be right. But we just have to look at it, and it's a numbers game. You have to account for that. So you can't be, and it just affects everything you do in your pricing when you have the mindset of a field painter versus a business owner. And so that's been a struggle for me, because I'm so big on quality. And I want the job to be done right no matter what. And I will sacrifice my profit if it takes it to make something right. But, finding that balance and getting that price where it needs to be to do the quality work, but also be fair with the customer, it's tough. I'm not even gonna lie.
So when did you, I like that you said that. I was actually having a conversation this morning on that same topic. When did you figure out that you needed to shift your mindset?
Probably, so the first year that I did this, I had no intentions of any kind of scaling or anything like that. I really started this out. Actually, even though painting is my background, I started this as a remodeling and painting business. But I really quickly figured out that the remodeling game is tough. Like, you really have to know your stuff, or you can just lose money really easily. And so we kind of shifted back to painting all the time. But after about a year, when I seen that I was able, that I could, if I really wanted to, bring on more guys and take on more work. And that's what I spent the last 2 years trying to do. But man, it's tough to find people that are reliable and show up on time and do the good job. And there's so many things they need to do to be a good employee. It's hard to find them. So, I mean, right now we've got me and 3 guys, but just a few months ago, it was me and 7 guys, so. I mean, and I made that decision to back down a little bit because I just wasn't happy with the work that was getting turned out, because I couldn't be everywhere at once and manage all the guys, and they just weren't the quality of the people that I wanted. So I made that decision to back down a little bit. And it was a good decision because I picked up a really good high-end contractor, man. And I mean, like I said, we just closed our biggest single ticket job to date. And just on 2 jobs with him in the last 3 months, we've made up maybe 30% of our revenue for the whole year on 2 jobs. So
Holy cow.
He's a godsend, man, and he's a good guy, and he's fair, and he's everything that I've been looking for that I haven't found for 3 years in a contractor, you know?
Yeah.
Because I feel like you need a contractor in your pocket in this business. I feel like that's it's a good thing. So, I mean, I've got several, but I feel like you need at least 1 or 2 because you can't always count on the phone to ring or people to need something painted. So
you need somebody to get out and get it. Having more doesn't always mean you're going to bring more employees, doesn't always mean you're going to be bringing in more revenue or better quality. And we notice that too. Like a lot of times we need to staff more because we got a lot going on. But then once you take a step back, you're like, well, I have these 3 people doing the same job.
Right.
Who's my best guy?
You're paying 8 hours for somebody that you really only need a person for 4 hours or 5 hours. And, so it's a tricky game, keeping everything in the black, basically.
Yeah.
Is the easiest way to say it, whether it's employees or your material spend or job cost, all that stuff. I mean, it's just so many little cogs like a clock in this business. I mean, there's so many moving parts.
Yeah, we have our this is what it needs to be, and we try and train people on how to stick to the cogs. And a lot of times they just, I don't know what goes through people's brains. Where they just start spending. It's like they're like wives. They're like, I can spend money, but I don't know how much I just spent. And then you come back to it, you're like, what'd you do?
I'm amazed at people's thought process and the way they work things out and the things they say. And it's just like, what?
Yes.
Like, for real, what? So,
yes. Yeah. All right. Well,
but I guess that's why I don't want to, because I'm not arrogant person, nothing, but I mean, that's why not everybody is a business owner, not everybody is made for it. So.
No, and I think that's okay to say. I still don't know that I am. Yeah. I think a lot of the things that you're saying right now, I think you are, because you recognize where you need to grow. You recognize that you need to grow and you need to change. And that's important when running a business is the self-work that comes with it, because revenue doesn't necessarily mean the revenue is great, but profitability is the point.
It doesn't matter how much you bring in if you're not profitable. Like you can make. Right. That's what I just told somebody. Actually, I told my niece that. I showed her, because I'm not like one of these bosses who's all like, I don't want my guys knowing how much I'm charging for a job. Like I'm not like that. Like I'm kind of an open book. And I showed my niece our revenue for the year, because I'm working on my books right now. And she was like, dang. And I said, well, it's a good number. I said, but it really doesn't matter what it is, until we see what the total profit for the year was. I mean, you're exactly right. It doesn't, you can bring in $1 million, but if you only make 80,000, then it's probably considered a bust year. But if you bring in 300,000 and you make that same 80, then you're doing a lot better. Same money, less headaches, I guess, is the way I would.
Well, one thing that I always ask people, because again, like being in my position, we get people that want to start a business, right? I want to be a business owner. Tell me what I need to do to be a business owner. And I always let them know, like, look, you're buying a business opportunity from us. We just so happen to be in painting, right? I can teach you about paint all day long. I can teach you products and application. That part's easy. But running the business, that part takes dedication and time and coachability. And one thing that I ask people is, what defines success to you? Because I will get asked, let me talk to your most successful franchisees. Like, what does that mean? Well, the ones that are bringing in, the millions of dollars, and I have to educate them and say, you know what, for some people, making millions of dollars isn't hard. Bringing in millions of dollars of revenue, that isn't tough for them. And so you can't go to them to understand their success because that's easy. And it sounds, I don't want that to sound like egotistical, but
it's a very introspective thing. Like being successful or successfulness is something that only a person can define that for themselves. I can't define what's successful for you, just like you can't define what's successful for me. Like everybody has different goals and what they want. Making millions of dollars is not my goal. Like, I'm not saying that it won't happen one day, because I do have a goal next year to hit $1 million in revenue, but it's based off of building the business, not lining my pockets type thing. So like success to me is I have my idea of success, and hopefully I can hit that, and do those things in the next 15 years, hopefully.
Well, so I'd love to hear your idea of success. Continuing down that process with them, I bring up, like, look, it may not be a number, like you said.
Right, exactly.
What I look at is the people that started this business and struggled, and they just didn't stop. And they asked me, what do I need to do? How do I fix this? How do I get better? What do I need to do? And they kept going. And that person, to me, is a successful person because they just kept going. And it's more of an internal thing for them. Like, I didn't give up. I didn't stop. And so when I had that conversation with potential candidates, that's what we call them, candidates coming in, I'm like, all right, so I'll connect you with the people that are doing millions because you want to know how they got there. But I'm also going to connect you with these people that didn't give up, because you're going to want to find out what they did over here.
Right.
If you want what this person over here has.
Right. Makes sense. Yeah. No, that grit.
That grit.
You gotta have that grit. You gotta have that grit, man.
I just texted.
Because it's not easy. It's so hard. Like it just, and there's different things about it that's hard for different people. I think, just depends on who you are. Like you said, some people have a marketing mind and know how to get out here and generate the leads and turn over the jobs to make the millions. And then you got people who are geared differently, who I prefer high quality jobs and quality, not quantity. Like I would rather have one job that's 50 grand than to have 5 that are 10,000 each. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I want them,
yes.
I want the high quality jobs. So I think it's just, it's different for everybody, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to, like you said, you got to be able to not give up and not quit. Like you got to have that drive. You just have to keep pushing and figure out a way to make it work.
To get to that $50,000 job or $100,000 job, you've got to go through the $5,000 jobs, the $10,000s, the single garage door painting, the $400 front door.
Absolutely.
And who do a front door, and that's money, like for that day. And you can put gas in your car and you can feed your family that day. Like, why are you turning down opportunity? We've done a lot of work. We've established a lot of really big customers. And I can't say that I've done all this personally, right? Because I haven't. However, Zach's been doing this for years. But just to give a perspective, it took him years to get with some of these huge, national contracts. Yeah. And it's because, like, he spent the time, the dedication, has the capital, absolutely, has the coverage, has the team to handle those things, versus a brand new person coming into this to think like, oh, I could do that and it's only going to take me a year. Like, I love your ambition, but you didn't earn that respect yet.
Well, the contractor, the one I was talking about that we were working with recently, I got him because I have a good relationship with my Sherwin-Williams rep who recommended me to him. And I have that because I leverage all those things, whether it's buying equipment for no interest through Sherwin, I buy paint, like I just get a good service from them. But had I not done all that, 3 years ago when I barely knew that guy, he wouldn't have recommended me to this contractor because he knows what kind of work this contractor does. So I agree with you 100% on that. Like you have to crawl before you can walk. That's just the way it is. I mean, you just have to do it. I very much have an attitude. I try to be grateful, and it's not easy. Sometimes I'm not, man. I fall short every day. Like I'm nowhere near what I want to be as a person a lot of times, but you got to try to be grateful for anything. You know what I mean? It's just all how you look at it in perspective.
That's why you're going to be successful. Whatever your definition of success is, you're going to be successful.
I hope so.
You've got the right mindset. I think you're putting in the right work, the right effort in the right places. You take care of your team and you bust your butt to make sure that your team is taken care of. And that is what a leader does. That's a business owner right there.
Well, I appreciate that. That's one of my goals this year. And I'm actually corresponding through email with a very successful painter. And it's just started, but that's one of the things they asked me, what am I trying to do? Like, what is my pinch point? What are my goals? And what do I want this to be? And like one of them, I told him, I said, like, my biggest thing, like I can tell you all these pinch points, but at the end of the day, the biggest pinch point in my company is me. Like until I work on myself, even if I was doing great, I would still feel like there's room to grow. So I'm always trying to, but leadership is one of my big goals this year because I'm not, I can lead my guys, but also I struggle at times to communicate to them in a way that isn't a little aggressive or, like I don't know how to get my point across when I get mad over stupid stuff because they don't listen. Or you say, hey man, don't get paint on the floor, and you walk in there and there's paint everywhere on the floor and they're rolling the wall out of drop cloth. And you're just like, hey dude, what the hell are you thinking? Like, why? Like what's so complicated about it? So there's lots of things but leadership is something that's one of my main goals for the year 2026. I think that's why I got so good at my job, because I didn't just wait on people to train me. Like I paid attention to how they did things. Just, when they put the spray gun down one day, I just snatched it up and started spraying. And instead of taking it away, they let me keep going because I have been paying attention, so that's what I'm trying to do. I just want to figure this thing out, man. Like I want it to work and be a place where however many guys I have can come and do this work and be treated like a human being and get all the same benefits and stuff from busting your ass every day that somebody working at this big corporation down the road gets, the medical, the vacations, the 401ks. Like I want to be able to give people, because I never had that. Like all the companies I worked for, one did have 401k, but that's it. Like I've never had anything other than some vacation days or a paid holiday. So like I want to be able to give that to my guys. I would love to have a mentor, somebody that I can just go to, talk to, kind of like we're talking right now, just have a conversation and get some different perspective on things.
Having these types of conversations for me even gives me a lot of perspective. And
absolutely.
I love it. There's always something different I can learn from everybody. I always talk about this, and it's probably on like several of my other podcasts, that one of the reasons why I think, Zach himself, but myself as well, why we're so successful, how I view it, is because we are authentically ourselves. We're not, come on. I judge myself all the time. You would not look at me and say, wow, this chick works in the service industry and software for a living. And I have lightsabers on my wall. I have a Star Wars mug. That's awesome. Yeah. Like I'm a big nerd. Oh my God, that's so cool. Oh my gosh. There we go. Nerds unite.
I don't know if you can see them, but I have Game of Thrones. My niece
Oh my
bought me
gosh.
these are hand drawn and
Oh, well, they're
hand
blurry,
done.
but I can imagine that's
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah.
That's so neat.
Straight nerd. Straight nerd.
Yeah, I was very shy, very quiet. I watched my grandfather was an engineer, and he would sit there and talk for hours about computers, and my siblings would all like leave me, and I'm nice where I'm like, oh, I can't leave him, like he's talking to a kid right now. But I learned so much from him, and it got me really interested in technology, and I went down this path. But back to that, like our customers, we are who we say we're going to be. Like we just show up as ourselves, and it might take a second for them to open up to us, but they realize like we really genuinely care. We really want the most success. We care about their lives, like what's going on with you. And then we'll spend 5 minutes talking about business, but they just know that we're going to show up, do the things that we say we're going to do. And I think that's
the key. That is the key. Just show up and do what you say and just treat people well. And I feel like, not saying that that's a guarantee going to make it work, but those are kind of at the top of the list, in my opinion. Like I'm real big on my word and handshake and that type of stuff. And I feel like as long as you treat people well and you do what you say you're going to do and show up for them when they need you, you really can't go wrong.
We're kind of nearing the end of the podcast here, but does your wife work in the business with you, or?
She wants to, and we're talking about that. As a matter of fact, we're fixing to. It's just getting to a point where I just can't do it all anymore. It's getting to be too much for me to handle by myself, because I'm still kind of, flying by the seat of my pants in a lot of ways, man. I'm big on a notebook and a pad. Yeah. And, I keep QuickBooks on my computer, so I'm fixing to take some pretty drastic steps this year and make some big changes. And pretty much every section of my business is going to get something new this coming year. And really, I feel like that's the only way. Like my goal is to double my revenue next year and hit $1 million in sales. And I feel like I'm not going to be able to do that. Like I can't do it the way I'm doing things now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I've got to make changes and add some things or take away some things or whatever the case may be. Like, we just got to sit down and identify those problems or whatever they are and come up with solutions to make things flow better and easier.
It sounds like your wife said, even though she doesn't work in the business with you yet, it sounds like she's a pretty good cheerleader and you got a good support system behind you.
Yeah.
I think that's very important and critical in a business's success. I don't know if you would agree with that, if she wasn't super supportive, or if you would be where you're at.
It would make it harder if she wasn't. She definitely. Listen, she is the first one that'll say, "Hey, you're wrong, or you're messing up. You need to do better." Like she is as much. She keeps me in line as much as she cheerleads for me. So, definitely 100%. I don't know that the last 6 years of my life would be the way they are if she wasn't in it. You know what I mean? She's really a driving force that keeps me on the straight and narrow, or at least almost straight.
Yeah.
It used to be like this.
She tries to keep you on the straight, but
I've not always made the best decisions, man. I've lived a pretty adventurous life and just had a lot of fun, but also made a lot of mistakes. And, so now I'm trying to turn all that upside down and do something good that'll benefit other people, as well.
For a man, women, I think there's a difference where like women will nag and be like, what are you doing? You're screwing up. And women can look at you and say, I know your potential and you're not living up to it.
Right. No, absolutely.
It sounds like she's that second one that lets you know, like, hey, I know what you can achieve.
She will check me
better.
in a heartbeat, but also, she's just there for me regardless. I mean, she's got my back like four flats on a Cadillac, man. I mean, she really is down for me. And I don't think there's anything that she wouldn't do, in my favor. I mean, I really don't. Like, she loves me to death, and I'm pretty fortunate. Awesome. I don't always act like it or let her know that, but that's the truth. Like, she's good to me, takes care of me.
We got it recorded now, so she can just.
The evidence is out there.
Women, we don't get enough of that either. Where I think we probably do a bad job at letting our guy know how much we're proud of them, because feelings and softness and stuff. But I know you guys need to hear that, and to find a woman that is wholeheartedly behind you through the ups and the downs, like, that is a tough thing to find. A lot of women want to be with a man once he's successful, but to be with him through the mud and the dirt, and I don't know if I can pay my bills this month, and exactly. She's like, all right, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, no, we started out together in a studio, pay by the week studio apartment with a bed and a love seat.
Wow.
And a little kitchenette, so we have really grinded it out together for the last 6 years.
That's great.
And built this thing up, and she's, like I said, she's a force. She ain't taking no bullshit, and she'll be the first to check me and get me in line, or try to anyway. It's not always what you want. Sometimes it's what you need when it comes to your spouse. Someone that you need versus someone that you want, because
there you go.
I've always found the ones that I like, anyway. Yes, having somebody that is good for you versus just somebody that benefits you in the ways that you want versus the ways that you need. You know what I mean? Because if it's all about what you want, then they're going to be a yes person to you and never stand up to you and tell you what's what. So yeah, no, definitely I wouldn't be where I'm at without her firm hand.
That's awesome, though. I will say, and we'll kind of switch after this, but as you, and I give this advice to all of the business owners, our new franchisees that come in, or people that I meet, whether your spouse is involved in your business, like you guys work together or not, always make sure that you're setting aside time to focus on the relationship and have that sounds like you guys are going to have a hard discussion, but have the discussion of, this is the plan, and it's going to take years to get through this plan, or months. And there's going to be some times where we're not going to be focusing on the relationship as much because we're grinding on the business. And if it gets to be too much, tell me. There's times that I'll say the same thing where there's a lot going on with the business, and I'll tell my guy, like, look, for the next 2 weeks, I can't focus on the relationship right now, and not because I don't have space. I just don't have time. I got to stay late at the office. I love you, but I can't I can't hang out. I can't do these things. But he'll notice after like a week and a half, hey, honey, let's go do a date night.
That's one thing. I spend a lot of time, too much time with work, man. I'm out the door early. I'm get home late, and then I'm dealing with stuff on my phone, because I really run my business through my cell phone. So it's always in my hand, and that's a point of contention around the house. Like, not to a crazy point, but I'm always hearing it every day. You're on that damn phone. Get off that phone.
I do the same thing. I do the same thing, but I know that if he wasn't on his phone all the time, if he wasn't answering those texts and those emails, we wouldn't be where we're at. To wrap this up, we're kind of finishing up. Is there any questions you have for me? Anything you want to know?
You've kind of been answering questions that I might have had along the way. I guess maybe what I would ask you is, obviously you're very successful. What is it when it comes to people, like managing your people? Like, what is, you know what I mean? Like to get that, I don't know how to ask it. Like it's not, because I know it's not just about taking somebody on wherever it is, the office or the job site, and saying, do this.
Yeah.
Like there's more to it. And, you know, and basically it's like, how do you finesse people to get what you need out of them, you know, and not in a negative way when I say finesse. I'm just saying, like, how do you deal with people to get them to be the best version of themselves, basically?
Yeah. That's a good question. I would say what I've experienced over the years is you are going to have to believe in them first before they're ever going to believe in themselves. You have to lead by example and have clear expectations of their duties. What do you need from them? What do you need from them to do their job well, to grow the business? What is their potential more than just a seat warmer? Right? So have a clear expectation of that and say, this is what I'm needing. Is this something that you think you can do or grow into, or I can teach you to do? I have those conversations every interview where I'm going to bring on people that their background is not in software or any of this, but what is it about them that I can find something, right? Or I don't, and I interview somebody else, but there's something about them that there's a spark there. And I want to find that area that is going to make them work the best. And it might be something that they don't even see themselves. So you have to believe in them first. Now, the other part of that is you also, when you need to have the tough conversation with them, because they are going to screw up. Now, this is something that I also tell every single person. You are going to screw up at some point, and you're going to disappoint me. And I'm going to get upset with you. That is going to happen. So when that happens, we know you are at a turning point for an opportunity to learn, and you're either going to get better or you're not, but you are going to disappoint me. And when I have to get on you for that first disappointment, go cry in the bathroom if you need to, go take a breather, go for a walk, but it's going to happen. And I'm going to get on your ass about it.
Right.
So I think what I've done is I've set expectations up front with everybody to let them know, I see your potential. You are going to screw up. I'm going to get mad at you. And when that happens, take a minute, get over it, and show up and do your job. Right. Because I have to do that too.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that makes sense. I don't like confrontation at all. So that's why a lot of times I will blow off having that conversation with somebody until it's built up 2 or 3 times. And
which
then
is why you can't do that. Yeah. You've got to, and I think that's a lot of business owners do that. Just a lot of managers, just a lot of people do that. And you can't let it get to the boiling point. And when you do let it get to the boiling point, that is when you're too late and your business is on the line and everything's on the line. And so the first time that it is a problem, address it then and let them know, like, look, this is a problem, or it's going to be a problem. And if it continues, that will be an even bigger issue. So I need you to work on this. So it actually helps you learn patience a lot quicker and addressing it sooner.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So I know that we're wrapping up. So I just want to say thank you again for joining Inside the Coded Economy podcast. And I think you're doing awesome. And
thank you.
I think you're on the right track. I think you're on the right track.
Yeah, well, I'll take that from somebody who's more successful than I am in business as a compliment. So, just keep on digging. Just keep on digging.